Joan Fontaine's infrequent bathing, Spencer Tracy's overpowering body odor, and Veronica Lake's refusal to wash her hair regularly are just the beginning. Discover the untold stories of these glamorous stars whose notorious hygiene habits will leave you speechless. Buckle up as we reveal the smelly truth behind Hollywood's golden era, Joan Fontaine. As an Oscar-winning actress, she is remembered for her roles in classics like Rebecca and Suspicion. Despite her on-screen elegance, those who worked closely with her knew of her less-than-glamorous personal hygiene habits. Fontaine was known for infrequent bathing, which led to a noticeable body odor that co-stars and crew couldn't ignore. In her autobiography No Bed of Roses, Fontaine admitted to disliking the Hollywood studio system and its demands. Her rebellion against the system extended to her personal habits. Fontaine's co-star in Rebecca, Laurence Olivier, reportedly found working with her challenging due to her hygiene. On the set of Suspicion, Alfred Hitchcock, known for his meticulous attention to detail, allegedly had to address Fontaine's hygiene indirectly. Hitchcock, who directed Fontaine to her Oscar-winning performance, was famous for his subtle, sometimes harsh methods to elicit the best performances. Crew members recalled how he would ensure fresh air on set and discreetly place scented items around the filming area. Fontaine's personal letters also reveal her indifference to frequent bathing. In correspondence with her sister, Olivia de Havilland, there are mentions of her preference for natural scents. The two sisters had a famously tumultuous relationship, and Olivia would sometimes mock Joan's habits in their letters. The actress's hygiene became a topic of discussion among Hollywood insiders. Director George Cukor, who worked with Fontaine on The Women, noted that she often came to the set without having showered. Cukor's assistant recalled how the crew would sometimes spray perfume around her to mask the odor. Despite her hygiene issues, Fontaine maintained her reputation as a talented actress. Her dedication to her craft was undeniable, and she delivered performances that captivated audiences. However, behind the scenes, her personal habits created a different narrative. Fontaine's hygiene was not just a personal quirk, it became part of her Hollywood legacy, whispered about in dressing rooms and on film sets. Fontaine's reluctance to bathe regularly might have stemmed from her belief in natural living. She once told a friend that she thought frequent bathing stripped the body of its natural oils and scents. This belief was not uncommon among some celebrities of her time, who often adopted unconventional lifestyles and habits. In interviews later in life, Fontaine rarely addressed the rumors about her hygiene. When asked about her personal habits, she would deflect with charm and wit, much like the characters she portrayed on screen. Her fans remained enamored with her, largely unaware of the behind-the-scenes stories. Montgomery Clift. He was one of Hollywood's most talented and handsome actors. Starring in classics like A Place in the Sun and From Here to Eternity, Clift was admired for his method acting and intense performances. However, his personal life was plagued by struggles that extended to his hygiene, earning him a notorious reputation. Clift's hygiene issues were closely linked to his tumultuous personal life. He battled substance abuse, which significantly impacted his daily habits. His dependence on alcohol and prescription drugs often left him neglecting basic hygiene. Co-stars and friends noted his strong body odor, unkempt appearance, and lack of grooming. Elizabeth Taylor, Clift's close friend and frequent co-star, often tried to help him maintain his hygiene. Despite her efforts, Taylor remarked in private conversations that Clift's personal struggles made it difficult for him to care for himself. Taylor once said, "Monty was a beautiful soul, but sometimes he just didn't care about the way he smelled or looked." Clift's personal assistant during the filming of The Misfits recalled how the actor would go days without bathing. The assistant often had to encourage Clift to clean up before shoots. Crew members on the set would sometimes leave deodorant and fresh clothes in his trailer, hoping he would use them. On the set of Suddenly last summer, director Joseph L. Mankiewicz had to address Clift's hygiene directly. Mankiewicz, known for his attention to detail, reportedly asked Clift to shower before coming to the set, citing complaints from other cast members. Clift's co-star, Katharine Hepburn, was particularly vocal about the issue, though she remained supportive of his talent. Despite these problems, Clift's performances never suffered. he continued to deliver powerful, emotionally charged roles. His ability to compartmentalize his personal struggles from his professional work was remarkable. However, those close to him knew that his off-screen life was far from glamorous. In his later years, Clift's hygiene issues worsened. His health declined rapidly after a near-fatal car accident in 1956. The accident left him with severe injuries, which he treated with heavy doses of painkillers and alcohol. This exacerbated his neglect of personal hygiene. Clift's friends and family often intervened, trying to help him manage his habits. His brother, Brooks Clift, once mentioned in an interview that Montgomery's hygiene was a constant concern. Brooks would sometimes visit his brother and find him in a state of disarray, urging him to clean up. Despite the efforts of those around him, Clift's hygiene remained an issue until his death in 1966. Vivien Lee. Known for her iconic roles in Gone with the Wind and A Streetcar Named Desire, she was one of Hollywood's most captivating actresses. Her beauty and talent earned her immense fame, but behind the scenes, Lee struggled with severe mental health issues that affected her personal hygiene. Lee was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which often left her in states of extreme emotional turmoil. Her condition, coupled with a hectic career, contributed to her neglect of personal hygiene. Colleagues and friends noted that during her manic episodes, Lee would go days without bathing or changing clothes. Laurence Olivier, Lee's husband and fellow actor, was one of the few who understood the full extent of her struggles. Olivier once confided to a friend, "Vivien's illness is a torment for her, and it shows in ways people wouldn't expect, like her hygiene." Despite his efforts to help her, Lee's mental state often made it difficult for her to maintain regular hygiene routines. On the set of Gone with the Wind, director Victor Fleming and the crew had to deal with Lee's unpredictable behavior and hygiene issues. Clark Gable, her co-star, reportedly complained about her strong body odor during close scenes. Gable's complaints were discreetly addressed by the production team, who tried to manage the situation without causing Lee further distress. Lee's personal assistant during the filming of A Streetcar Named Desire recalled how the actress would sometimes arrive on set unwashed and in the same clothes from the previous day. The assistant often had to gently remind her to freshen up before filming, a task made difficult by Lee's volatile moods. Lee's friends in the theater community also witnessed her struggles. During a stage production of Antony and Cleopatra, her co-star, Michael Redgrave, noted her erratic behavior and poor hygiene. Redgrave later wrote in his memoirs, "Vivien's brilliance on stage was undeniable, but off stage, she battled with demons that no one could see." In her later years, Lee's hygiene issues became more pronounced as her mental health deteriorated. Her close friend and biographer, Ann Edwards, documented how Lee's condition led to severe neglect of personal care. Edwards described visiting Lee and finding her in a disheveled state, with strong body odor and unkempt hair. Lee's hygiene problems were not a reflection of laziness, but a symptom of her severe mental health struggles. Her battle with bipolar disorder overshadowed many aspects of her life, including her ability to care for herself. Spencer Tracy. Being a two-time Academy Award-winning actor, he was celebrated for his powerful performances and natural acting style. Starring in classics like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and Captain's Courageous, Tracy was a giant of Hollywood's golden age. However, behind his on-screen charm and talent, Tracy was known for his poor personal hygiene, which stemmed from his struggles with alcoholism. Tracy's drinking problems were well documented and often affected his professional life. His addiction led to erratic behavior and neglect of personal care. Co-stars and crew members frequently commented on his strong body odor, unkempt appearance, and stained clothes. Katharine Hepburn, Tracy's longtime partner and co-star in numerous films, often tried to help him manage his hygiene, but her efforts were not always successful. On the set of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, director Stanley Kramer faced challenges due to Tracy's hygiene. Kramer later recalled in interviews how Tracy's drinking exacerbated his hygiene issues, making it difficult for the actor to maintain regular cleanliness. Despite this, Tracy's talent shone through, and he delivered a memorable performance that earned critical acclaim. Co-star Sidney Poitier admired Tracy's acting, but noted the hygiene issues. In his autobiography, Poitier mentioned, "Spencer was an incredible actor, but there were times when it was hard to ignore his strong smell and disheveled look." Poitier's comments reflected the general sentiment among those who worked closely with Tracy. Tracy's personal assistant during the filming of Adam's Rib also recalled instances of his poor hygiene. The assistant described how Tracy would often arrive on set without having bathed, with noticeable body odor. Crew members would discreetly place fresh clothes and hygiene products in his dressing room, hoping he would use them before shooting. Tracy's drinking problem was not a secret in Hollywood. Friends and colleagues frequently intervened, trying to help him overcome his addiction. Actor and close friend Clark Gable once commented on Tracy's hygiene, saying, "Spence was a great friend, but his drinking made him careless about how he looked and smelled." In his later years, Tracy's health declined due to his alcoholism, further worsening his hygiene. Hepburn often took care of him, ensuring he maintained some semblance of personal care. Despite her efforts, Tracy's condition made it challenging to uphold consistent hygiene. Veronica Lake. As an actress famed for her iconic peekaboo hairstyle and roles in films like Sullivan's Travels and This Gun for Hire, she was one of Hollywood's most glamorous stars. Behind her captivating on-screen presence, Lake harbored a reputation for poor personal hygiene, particularly her reluctance to wash her hair regularly. Lake's trademark hairstyle, which covered one eye, became a significant part of her persona. However, maintaining that look required a lot of upkeep, and Lake often neglected regular washing. Her co-stars and crew members noticed this and frequently commented on the strong odor from her hair. It was said that she would sometimes go days, if not weeks, without properly washing it. Alan Ladd, her co-star in several films, reportedly struggled with the close contact scenes due to the smell. In a private conversation with a crew member, Ladd allegedly remarked, "Veronica's talent is undeniable, but working so close to her can be tough with that smell." On the set of I Married a Witch, director René Clair had to delicately handle Lake's hygiene. Clair, known for his tactful approach, ensured that hair and makeup artists attended to her regularly, trying to mask the odor with perfumes and hair treatments. Despite their efforts, the problem persisted, and it became a running issue among the crew. Lake's personal life was fraught with difficulties that contributed to her hygiene issues. She struggled with alcoholism and mental health problems, which affected her ability to maintain a regular self-care routine. Her frequent binges left her in states where personal hygiene was the last thing on her mind. Her biographer, Jeff Lenberg, noted in his book Peekaboo, The Story of Veronica Lake, that her hygiene became increasingly problematic as her addiction worsened. During the filming of The Blue Dahlia, Lake's hygiene issues became more apparent. Co-star William Bendix found it challenging to perform romantic scenes with her due to her unwashed hair and body odor. Others shared Bendix's discomfort on set, who often found creative ways to avoid getting too close. Lake's hygiene was not just limited to her hair. Reports from her housekeepers and assistants indicated that she often neglected bathing altogether. One assistant recalled that Lake would sometimes wear the same clothes for several days, contributing to a noticeable smell. Despite this, her charisma and beauty often overshadowed these issues in the public eye. Carrie Grant. As one of Hollywood's most charismatic and beloved actors, he is remembered for his roles in classics such as North by Northwest and To Catch a Thief. Known for his suave demeanor and impeccable style, Grant's off-screen habits presented a stark contrast to his on-screen image. Despite his polished appearance, he was infamous for his minimal use of deodorant and his preference for a more natural body scent, which sometimes led to noticeable body odor. Grant's hygiene habits were partly influenced by his personal beliefs. He was known to be quite health-conscious and believed in natural living. This belief extended to his grooming practices, where he avoided the use of artificial products, including deodorants. On the set of North by Northwest, director Alfred Hitchcock, who was known for his meticulous attention to detail, had to discreetly address Grant's body odor. Hitchcock's assistant recalled that the director would ensure the set was well ventilated and would occasionally suggest a break for fresh air, indirectly hinting at the need for Grant to freshen up. Co-star Eva Marie Saint, who worked closely with Grant, commented in her memoirs about his natural scent, noting, "Carrie was a wonderful actor and a gentleman, but his preference for natural grooming was evident." Grant's personal assistant during the filming of To Catch a Thief shared anecdotes about his hygiene habits. The assistant revealed that Grant would often refuse to use the colognes and deodorants provided by the studio, insisting on his own natural regimen. Crew members would sometimes place scented items in his dressing room, hoping to mask the odor. Despite these issues, Grant's charm and professionalism ensured that his hygiene habits did not significantly affect his career. However, those who worked closely with him were well aware of his peculiar grooming practices. Director Stanley Donen, who worked with Grant on Charade, once joked in an interview, "Carrie was the epitome of elegance on screen, but off-screen, he was quite the naturalist." Grant's preference for natural grooming was consistent throughout his life. His ex-wife, actress Diane Cannon, mentioned in her autobiography that Grant's hygiene habits were one of the many quirks that made him unique. Cannon mentioned that Carrie prioritized health and natural living, asserting that the body could regulate itself without the need for artificial products. Friends and colleagues often respected Grant's choices even if they found them unusual. His close friend and fellow actor James Stewart remarked in a letter, "Carrie was always true to himself. Even if it meant smelling a bit ripe at times, he believed in living naturally, and that was part of his charm." Grant's hygiene habits sometimes caused discomfort during intimate scenes. Deborah Kerr, his co-star in An Affair to Remember, reportedly found it challenging to perform romantic scenes due to his natural scent. Despite this, Kerr and Grant maintained a professional relationship, and she often praised his acting skills and professionalism in public interviews. During the filming of Houseboat with Sophia Loren, the Italian actress also noticed Grant's preference for natural grooming. Loren, who was known for her own meticulous personal care, found it surprising but endearing. She mentioned in an interview, "Carrie was very much his own man. His natural approach was different, but it was part of what made him unique." Grant's commitment to natural living sometimes led to humorous situations on set. During the filming of Bringing Up Baby, Katharine Hepburn, known for her straightforward personality, once playfully confronted him about his smell. Hepburn, always direct, teased Grant about his lack of deodorant, to which he responded with his characteristic wit, making light of the situation and diffusing any tension. Mae West. As an iconic actress known for her witty one-liners and bold persona, she was one of Hollywood's most unforgettable stars. With roles in films like She Done Him Wrong and I'm No Angel, West's career was marked by her brazen confidence and larger-than-life character. However, behind the scenes, she was infamous for her personal hygiene habits, particularly her aversion to regular bathing. West's hygiene issues were well known among her colleagues. She believed that frequent bathing was unnecessary and even unhealthy. In her autobiography, Goodness Had Nothing to Do with It, West candidly discussed her views on hygiene, stating, "I believe in natural living, and that means not stripping away the body's natural oils with too much washing." Her belief that bathing too often could harm her skin and health led her to bathe infrequently, a habit that was starkly at odds with the image of the glamorous star she portrayed on screen. Co-stars and crew members frequently commented on West's strong body odor. Director Lowell Sherman, who worked with her on She Done Him Wrong, recalled the challenges of maintaining a fresh environment on set. The strong scent often permeated her dressing room, and the crew took to airing it out regularly to make it more bearable. West's personal assistant during the filming of I'm No Angel shared stories about her hygiene routines. The assistant noted that West would often go days without bathing, relying on heavy perfumes to mask any odors. Despite this, her commanding presence and charisma often overshadowed these issues. West would douse herself in her favorite fragrances, such as Taboo by Dana, to cover up any unpleasant smells, a practice that only partially mitigated the issue. West's hygiene habits extended beyond her bathing routines. She was known to wear the same costumes repeatedly without laundering them. Costume designers and wardrobe assistants frequently complained about the odor of her outfits. Head and her team would have to frequently use fabric fresheners and sprays to manage the smell. Despite her hygiene issues, West's talent and wit made her a beloved figure in Hollywood. Her ability to captivate audiences with her performances and humor ensured her continued success. However, those who worked closely with her could not ignore the challenges posed by her hygiene. West's hygiene habits often became the subject of gossip among Hollywood insiders. At parties and social gatherings, whispers about her strong scent and unwashed clothes circulated. Yet, West remained unbothered by the chatter, continuing to live her life on her own terms. Her confidence and disregard for societal norms only added to her allure. During the production of Mira Breckenridge, West's hygiene issues again came to light. Co-star Raquel Welch found it difficult to work closely with her due to the smell. The film's crew also had to make adjustments, ensuring that the set was well ventilated and often using air fresheners to manage the odor. West's commitment to her unique lifestyle extended to her diet and overall health practices. She often ate organic foods and avoided processed items, believing that a natural diet was key to her well-being. This philosophy was reflected in her minimal use of commercial hygiene products, which she believed contained harmful chemicals. Instead, she used natural remedies and homemade concoctions, further contributing to her distinct scent.